Hello everybody and welcome back to my attempts at love in Katawa Shoujo.
Which we're recording beside of my head and wings now. I suggested this to Brennan a few times, and then he suggested it to me tonight.
Yeah, because I don't know why I want to try something new.
Yeah, yes, I understand. Yes.
So,
Alright, this is my favorite of most things on the earth, so let's get started. It's winter.
Snow, 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 snow! A light breeze causes the naked branches overhead to rattle like wooden wind chimes.
Oh, we have disabled adult content. As long as it stayed off. Hopefully,
Yes.
hopefully it didn't come back to haunt us.
That'll be fun to find out. This is a popular retreat for couples in the summer. Turn down the music. The deciduous trees provided a beautiful green canopy far out of the sight of teachers and fellow students. Yes, I struggled with that. But now, in the late winter, it feels like I'm standing under a pile of kindling. This will be the main protagonist's voice. Here's your timer.
We have a timer. What is it counting down? Oh, I see. Okay, when did we start?
Oh, it's a stopwatch.
I know, but when did we start?
Like, right when I did the intros when I
Oh,
started.
really? We've already been going for that long?
Yes!
Wow. Alright.
Click.
Oh, okay, sure.
I breathe now into cupped hands and rub them together furiously to prevent them from numbing this cold.
Who's this?
As I speak, just how long am I expected to wait out here anyway? I'm sure the note said 4 p.m. Japanese time. This isn't the East Coast. Ah yes, the note. Slipped between the pages of my math book while I wasn't looking. As far as cliches...
I'm not gonna tell us about mine now.
Yes. As far as cliches go, I'm more of a fan of the letter in the locker. But at least this way shows a bit of initiative. As I ponder the meaning of the note, the snowfall gradually thickens.
You decide who's going to do everyone's voices. Voices.
Well, we'll figure it out. Well, I think I'm doing K-cells. The snowflakes silently falling from the winter, white-painted sky are the only sign of time passing in this stagnant world. Their slow descent upon the frozen forest makes it seem like time is slow to a crawl. The rustling of the dry snow underfoot startles me, interrupting the quiet mood. Someone is approaching me from behind. Speaking of Dark Souls.
We weren't speaking of Dark Souls, but I was playing Dark Souls.
He's out. He came.
Alright, she's not gonna stay for that long, so you can do that.
We'll find a major character to do it for.
She's his brother. Once we get there.
He's out. You came. A hesitating, barely audible question. Indeed.
Oh yeah, I've seen this multiple times, but I've only seen it once and like halfway through, and he completely forgot it.
Oh yeah, it was a fun night. However, I recognize the owner of that dainty voice instantly.
Dainty voice.
That great damsel's soft voice. I feel my heart skip a beat. It's a voice I've listened to hundreds of times, but never as more than an eavesdropper to a conversation. I turn to face this voice, the voice of my dreams, and my heart begins to race.
Tree, you came.
You wanna go? I got a note telling me to wait here. Was it? Oh wait. As I do an impression to break the ice. That's my impression of her. Darn it, she didn't like the impression of her voice. I spent all afternoon practicing it to come up with a good line, and that was the result. Pathetic.
I love it.
Yes. I asked a friend to give you that note. I'm so glad you got it. A shy, joyous smile that makes me so tense I couldn't move a single muscle, even if I tried.
Ow. Ow.
As the darkness fills my soul, my heart is pounding, as if it were trying to burst out of my chest and claim this girl for itself. This alien. Just a baby's gonna pop out there. So, here we are, out in the cold. Once again the wind stirs up the branches. A cacophonous noise is music to my ears. Iwanako flinches ever so softly against the gust of the wind. As it passes, she rights herself as if supported by some new convenience.
Convenience to us.
Yes, indeed. Her eyes lock with mine, and she lazily twirls her long dark hair around her finger. All the while, the anxious beating of my heart grows louder. And louder. My throat is tight. I doubt I could even force a word out if I tried. You see...
Ow.
I wanted to know.
Ow. Ow.
If you'd go out with me. I stand there motionless, save for my pounding heart. I want to say something in reply, but my vocal cords feel like they've been stretched beyond the breaking point. Esau! I reach up to try to message my throat, but this only sends spikes of blinding pain along my arms.
It's because you're trying to message your throat. Sending paper up your arms is not a good idea.
Esau! My whole body freezes, save for my eyes, which shoot open in terror. Esau!
And then his heart puffs out with the top hat and the cane. It says,
hello, my darling. Hello, my darling. Oh, down. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yes. The beating in my chest suddenly stops and I go weak at my knees. The world around me, the canopy of bare branches, the dull winter skies, Iwanako running towards me. All these fade to black. The last thing I remember before slipping away are the sounds of Iwanako screaming for help, for the incessant clatter of the branches above.
And then, hello, my darling.
Hello, my darling. Hello, my darling. Hello, my small town gal.
7 minutes. Don't worry about it. Drip.
Writing was by Anonymous. Editing was by Kagami, though. We know who they are, and we will find them.
Drip.
The music was done by The Color Blue.
There's a bullet!
It does look like a bullet.
We're going to shoot him!
Or he's going to shoot someone. It's the Bourne Legacy with Matt Damon, or the Bourne series.
There's also some spools. I think they were actually like sewing them together. Like not stitching them, but just actually like sewing them. Just like...
Yeah, I assume it was open heart surgery though.
I like to think that they were actually just knitting him.
They were knitting a very nice sweater. Why do you have a guitar pick here?
Oh, that was great. She left it over there, and my mom brought it over here when cleaning, and then it ended up there because I didn't want it up over here.
This is a flashy pick. It's a first act pick. It's been 4 months since my heart attack.
Those are a quick 4 months.
We now have 4 multi-platinum.
Planes!
We now have 4 multi-platinum albums for each month. And that whole time, I could probably count the times I've been in this hospital room, unsupervised on one hand. Oh, I've left. 4 months is a pretty long time when you're left alone with your thoughts. So I've had plenty of time to come to terms with my situation.
Anesthesia.
Arrhythmia.
Anesthesia.
Yes.
He's dropping numb.
A strange world. A foreign alien one. One that you don't want to be in the same room with. A rare condition. It causes the heart to act erratically and occasionally beat way too fast. It can be fatal. Yeah. Apparently, I've had it for a long time. They said it was a miracle that I was able to go on so long without anything happening.
I've never noticed the leaves flying outside the window before. I'm so happy now that I have. Now I just can't get the image of planes flying out of my head.
Yes.
Circling around the hospital.
It was really a miracle. I guess it was supposed to make me feel better, more appreciative of my life. My now cut short life.
Because of the planes.
Because of the planes where the sewer tribes raided my village. It really didn't do anything to cheer me up. My parents. I think it hit them harder by the news than I was. They practically had 2 hemorrhages apiece.
Blech, blech. And then everyone's dead.
I think their heads blew up. I had already had a full day by then to digest everything. To them, it was all fresh. They were even willing to sell our house to pay for a cure.
Afterwards, no house to live in.
But at least I will now die.
At least I'll live a good, happy life.
While getting mugged and dying.
Life. A short, miserable life after being mugged.
I could have had a short, happy life, but instead I have a long, miserable life down in the slums. Living in a house lined with cardboard and tin. I had to fight for my meals. Many hobos, explaining the bullet on the dish. Of course, there isn't a cure for poverty. Except gold. Because of the late discovery of this condition, I've had to stay at the hospital to recuperate from the treatments. When I was first admitted, it felt as if I was missed. For about a week, my room in the ward was full of flowers, balloons, and cards. But the visitors soon dwindled, and all the gifts began trickling down to nothing shortly after.
It didn't say anything about visitors. It's just full of flowers, balloons, and cards. I thought
This could have been
sent them.
This could have been one really determined person that died in a car wreck.
Could have been. You couldn't tell. He was blind. That's his condition.
That's definitely arrhythmia. Good job. I realized that the only reason I gotten so many cards and flowers was because they were sending me their sympathy. It had been turned into a class project. Maybe some people were genuinely concerned, but I doubt it. Even in the beginning, I barely had visitors. By the end of the first month, only my parents came on by a regular basis. And that was once a month. They only stopped by 4 times. Iwanako was the last to stop visiting, because my parents already did. After 6 weeks, I never saw it again. We never had that much to talk about when she visited anyway. We didn't touch the subject that was between us on that snowy day. Ever again. The microphone was in the way. The hospital.
This microphone better be being picked up this time.
We'll find out. We'll find out.
The hospital?
Yes. It's not really a place I'd like to live in. The doctors and nurses feel so personal and faceless. I said impersonal.
I thought you said personal.
They felt so personal and face-lifted. Because they're plastic surgeons! I guess it's because they were in a hurry. They had a million other patients waiting for them, but it makes me feel uncomfortable. For the first month or so, I asked the head cardiologist every time I saw him for a rough estimate for when I'd be able to leave. He never answered anything in a straightforward way, but told me to wait and see if the treatment and surgeries worked. So I idly observed the scar that the surgeries had left on my chest slowly change its appearance over time, thinking of it as some kind of omen. I still have the head cardiologist about leaving, but my expectations are low enough now that I'm not disappointed anymore when I don't get a reply. The way he shuffles around the answers shows that there are at least some hope. At some point, I stopped watching the TV. I don't know why. I just did. Yeah. Maybe it was the wrong kind of escapism for my situation.
He thought that the heart reading was the TV. He's like, man.
Why is it stopping?
I love this show.
Is the signal out? The show stopped working. I started reading instead. There was a small library at the hospital. Although it was more like a storeroom for books, I began working my way through it, one small stack at a time. After consuming them and their souls, I would go back for more. I found that I liked reading. I think I even became a bit addicted, cause I soon got hooked on cocaine. Mountains and mountains of cocaine. I started running naked, throwing books at people's heads. Oh, the stories I could tell. That was what my life was like. Probably explaining the heart problems. The day became increasingly harder and harder to distinguish people from each other for when I got into heavier substances. Only by book chucking in the weather outside is how time felt, blurring out through all the acid I soon started doing. The gooey masses I was trapped inside instead of moving within. A week could go by without me really noticing anything. Sometimes I'd pause in realization that I didn't know what day of the week it was. Don't do drugs. But other times, all the things that surrounded me would painfully crash into my consciousness when I sobered up. The non-chalice I had a setup for myself. The pages of my books would start to feel sharp and burning as I shoved the needle in my arm. The chest would become so hard to bear that it felt like it'd pop out. I felt like a king, and for a while looking at the ceiling as if I was going to cry. But that only happened when I saw the octopus. And I couldn't even cry. But I could check out any time I liked. Today the doctor comes and gives me a smile. He seems excited, but not very. It's like he's trying to make an effort to be happy on my behalf. My parents are here. It's been a few days since I've last seen them, both of them not even sort of dressed up. Is this supposed to be some kind of special occasion? It's not a party. There is this ritual the head cardiologist has. He takes his time sorting the papers, then setting aside as if to make a point of the pointlessness of what he just did. Then he casually sat down on the edge of the bed next to mine. He looks at me in the eyes for a moment. Hi, Hisao! How are you today?
I should try to do some voice. I could do his parents, maybe.
I don't answer him, but I smile a little. Trying not to laugh at his voice. I believe you can go home. Your heart is stronger now. With some precautions, you should be fine. We have all the medication sorted out. I'll give your father the prescription. The doctor hands the sheet of paper to my dad. Those expressions turn wooden as he reads it quickly.
He's made of wood.
Yes.
That's that in wood.
I take it from his hand and take a look at myself, feeling numb. How am I supposed to react to this? The absurdly long list of medications staring back. That's a symptom, though, insomnia.
No. He needs insomnia to get over it.
Erectile dysfunction.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
That's gonna hurt him that's gonna hurt his chances in this novel. The absurdly long list of medications staring back at me from the paper seems insurmountable. They all blend together in a sea of ladders and chutes. This is insane. Tripping out. The side effects have first effects, contradictions, and dosage are listed line after line with cold precision.
They're actually just written like this. Like, blah, 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 blah.
This is what English looks like to the Japanese. I try to read them, but it's so futile. I can't understand any of it. Attempting only makes me feel sicker. All of this, for the rest of my life, every day.
Probably.
I'm afraid that's the best we can do at this point. However, new medications are always being developed, so I wouldn't be surprised to see that list fade over the years.
Yes? What kind of confidence booster is that? I'd have felt better if he hadn't said anything at all.
Not yet.
Yeah, we're getting out of this hospital.
I also spoke with your parents, and we believe that would be the best if you don't return to your old school.
What?
Please, calm down, Hisao. Listen to what the doctor has to say.
Oh. That's the Woodman!
Oh, Woodman!
Why would you let me do that? Now calm down. The way he says it tells me he knew full well what I wouldn't like it. Am I going to have to be homeschooled? Petty mortals. Whatever my consent shows, it's ignored.
We understand that all your education is paramount, however, I don't think that's wise for you to be without supervision. At least not until we're sure about your medication is suitable. So I've spoken to your parents about a transfer. It's a school called Yamaku Academy, specialized in dealing with disabled students.
Disabled? What am I to you, mortal man?
As a 24-hour nursing staff, it's only a few minutes from a highly regarded general hospital. The majority of the students live on the campus. Don't hurt me. I have a wife and kid. Think of it as a boarding school of sorts. It's designed to give the student independence while keeping help nearby. Like a prison.
Independence? It's a school for disabled kids. Don't try to disguise that fact. If it was really that free, there wouldn't be a 24-hour nursing staff, and you wouldn't make a hospital being nearby a selling point. You'd make a morgue.
He's upgraded the metal. Yes, thank you.
It looks like I really don't have a choice. The words of my father carry through in his percussion.
Compared to other heart problems, people with your conditions usually tend to live long lives. You'll need a job one day. This is a good opportunity to continue your education.
This isn't an opportunity. Don't call it an opportunity. Don't call this gosh darn opportunity.
Well, you shouldn't be excited at the chance to go back to school. You wanted to return to school, and while it's not the same one.
A special school? That's an insult. That is what I wanted to say, but I stepped down. Looks like an Xbox. This looks like an Xbox, I'm not gonna lie. That's the first thing that came to mind. And look, here's a really happy face! Okay.
Your father's right! Many of the graduates at the school have gone on to do amazing things. A person doesn't have to be held back by their disability. One of my colleagues in another hospital is a graduate.
I don't care! The person doesn't have to be held back by their disabilities. That's what a disability is. I really hate that something so important was decided for me. But what can I do about it? A normal life is out of the question now. It's funny. I'd always thought my life was actually kind of boring. But now I sort of missed it. Petty mortals. I wanted to protest. I wanted to blame this lack of reaction on shock or fatigue. I could easily yell out something about how I can go back to school anyway, but no. My emotions will be expressed through blood, not through words. I look around the room feeling very tired of all this. The hospital doctors, my condition, everything. I don't see anything that would make me feel any different. There really isn't a choice. I know this. But I thought of going to a disabled school? What are those even like? As much as I try to put a positive spin on this, it's very difficult.
A disabled school is one that has been a little bit blown up.
It's crippled. But I shall destroy them all. Yum, 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 yum. A clean slate isn't a bad thing to stain with the blood of the innocent. That is all I can think of to get me through this. At least I can still have something, even if it's a special school. It's something. It's a fresh start. And my life isn't over. It would be a mistake to resign myself to thinking like that. At the very least, I'll try to see my new life will look like. Did we just get through the prologue?
No, that was a prologue.
I know, we just got through the prologue.
Yeah. I think we skipped through it. No, we did that bit.
But hey.
You're not paying attention?
But hey, thank you so much for watching. I've been Brennan, he's been Chris. We hope this will be very exciting and with just as enthusiastic voice acting as Hesal's dad.
Yeah. I gotta think if I'm gonna do something different for Yuko. I wonder if I can do Yuko's voice like Moby does it.
Will you actually talk?
Yeah, Yuko's gonna talk.
Good.
Yuko's the librarian.
Yeah.
He.
Okay. But yeah, thank you. Leave a like, a dislike, a death threat, a subscription, a unsubscription, or shoot our kids or cats.
And you know what? Since I do have to edit this, since the capture's making me, future me, remember to put a link to Milby's Katawa Shoujo series in the description. Okay. Okay. Thank you, future me. That should be down there if I listen to myself. Love you. Bye bye.